you're watching exclusive conversations on Budget 2022. And now I have a very special guest with me, Mr. Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, Managing Director, Hiranandani Group, and National Vice Chairman of Neretco. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to speak to you.
Our pleasure, sir. So talking on the budget, I mean, it is a growth-oriented budget, no doubt, but nothing much for the real estate sector. What is your view on this?
I cannot say that there is nothing in the real estate sector. Maybe it is much below expectations. We have a direction of the budget. One of it is the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which has talked about 80 lakh new beneficiaries to be identified and a budget of 48,000 crores of rupees set aside for that sector. Of course, it's rural and urban combined. We have to see the bifurcations for the urban. So that's one big thing which is coming in. Of course, there are too many conditions under the PMAY scheme, including you cannot have any other house. The price of the house has to be less than 45 lakhs. Which is a challenge in most of the larger A grade cities, and tier 1 cities are definitely in difficulty. So you don't get the benefit to come in the tier 1 cities where the price of land is pretty high. So I think that's a challenge. The second major thing which is seen is the central registration, which is going to come up. E-registration, any part of the country can be done for any project. And that target is something which is very good. I think it will help a lot of people and reduce corruption at the registration and problems at that rate. The third important factor which has come into the budget is that they're looking at reducing the reduction of time for land and construction related approvals, especially in the case of affordable housing. I think this ease of doing business needs to be improved completely. And many times you get one approval for building approvals, but you don't get for environmental clearance or aviation height clearance or forest approvals and others. And I think a coordination requires to be done to expedite the approval level. And also a high-level committee for modernization of laws and sustainable development. All this is looking very, very, very positive in terms of an overall attention to real estate. But as thing is there, dil mange more, and people are, I think those who are buying houses were expecting a lot more. We take interest on home loans for long-term basis, 15 years, 20-year loans, and the interest the standard deduction is stuck at 2 lakhs of rupees since 10 years, 15 years. I think that needed to be up to at least 5 lakhs of rupees was a minimum expectation that the industry was having, the clients were having, and they were waiting. Also, the cost charges and other expenses in terms of development were not talked about, or tax reliefs was not done. One of the sectors which I need to mention where the disappointment is large is rental housing.
Okay.
3 years ago, the Housing Ministry put up the Model Rent Laws Act on the website that has now been cleared by the cabinet. But the push drive necessary to get this done by the states has still not happened. And there is no relief in relating to rental housing. You see, the real fact as we see it is that you see investments for foreign direct investments and others in commercial housing, but not in residential, because the returns on residential is 2% or 2.5% in terms of the returns. So we needed to give some relief in that segment so that investment into rental housing should also be done. So I think this is a balanced kind of a thing, but some disappointment, I agree.
Real estate sector as such has done well in last 1.5 years, sir. But now with the rising interest rates as is expected post the Federal Reserve's outcome, which said that they might be hiking interest rates 4 times in a year. And, India can't be, aloof from the global environment. So how do you expect the housing market to really pan out in, say, next 6 to 1 years time, with rising interest rates, rising inflation, and consumption side is still hit. So how do you see that?
So on your first point of rising interest rates, in my belief is that if it is around 50 basis points, it will not make any difference because it's a fluctuating rate economy, and it's over a period of 15 years the loan is taken. So since it's linked to rising and falling interest rates, I think at the most 50 basis point is clearly affordable. So, and I do hope that it won't go beyond that. So I think rising interest rates to a marginal extent will not affect the buying power of the person because it's spread over so many years. On the other issues, certainly we do see a challenge in terms of the industry. The input cost is a bigger challenge. So we are seeing steel prices go up. We are seeing cement prices going up. And this is riding on a further 28% GST on cement. And on the sale of premises, you get no input tax credit. Mm-hmm. So this is really a hit which especially affordable housing cannot agree to take. So the challenge is much more because you have the input costs rising due to inflation. And as you are aware already, cement prices have gone up, steel prices have gone up, other metals have gone up, labor cost has gone up, and this consequentially will cause. Up till now, the prices did not go up because there were lots of work under progress and finished stock. Right. So they were at an older cost of construction and input, raw material input. So people could still afford to sell it at the same price. But I don't think that will happen in the year 2022. And you will see a rising price inputs of flats and apartments, which will take place in the year 22.
What is the demand supply scenario as of now, the current status, as well as as far as the inventory levels are concerned?
So the second part of the COVID story was very positive, because we did see a demand because people worked from home, they studied from home, they lived from home, and some of them even divorced because of they were home too much together. So the home became a center of gravity, and those who could afford it went on to try and buy, and where the need, of course, was there, because you had the husband working from home, the wife working from home, the children studying from home, the college from home, the school from home, on the VC. So obviously those who could afford, upgraded their houses to a larger apartment, as well as in a better quality home where they could get all the facility. So the COVID story, to an extent, to those who had the jobs, of course, and had the income, were able to upgrade themselves to an extent which they had not planned before. But they could afford it, so they did. And they found it convenient to upgrade. And luckily the market therefore took a upward rise in terms of total transaction value. And also the work in progress and finished stock contracted in the marketplace. And hence now today, if you see it, it's good. And because prices of flats, apartments had not gone up in the last 5 years, while salaries and incomes had gone up, except for those who had lost their jobs during this COVID period on the downturn in the marketplace, the rest of them had higher salaries available to them. And that became an advantage both ways in terms of lower cost of supply of apartments and higher availability of possibility of getting home loans over a period of time.
Mm-hmm. So do you expect the demand scenario to stay buoyant as far as the real estate sector is concerned?
So demand, with 8.5% GDP growth or higher GDP growth and salary increments taking place, the IT sector is this year recruited 5 lakh people. 5 lakh people have been recruited in the IT sector. The capital investments into new projects, etc., in so many sectors is now increasing after so many years of downturn. So CapEx cycle is also going up. So obviously, consequent to that, house buys will definitely go up. And the more earlier we felt, oh, there will be a demand downwards. because you're work from home, and
Yeah.
so commercial demand will go down. Now, funnily, both the demands have gone up. The commercial demand is also going up, and the residential demand has also gone up. And if GDP grows 8.5%, or I expect next year it should be 10% plus, the demand for real estate, residential, will definitely continue to grow, because people do want to have better houses and better other things than they used to have before. That's a positive story.
Thank you, sir, for your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all related documents carefully before investing.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from ICICI Direct.